Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Sanjay sir, you can start. Suganya ma'am, anything ma'am? Suganya ma'am,
Ma'am, nothing, ma'am.
you have raised
Ma'am,
the hand.
actually, we are waiting. We are
Okay,
waiting
thank you.
for you.
Arun sir, you can start the session, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Arun sir, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes. Hi, good evening.
Yes, okay, sir.
So, so team, welcome to the second day of the faculty development program. Right? Yesterday, I believe it was a good, interesting session for many of you to actually get an exposure into the chatbot. Right? So now, as teachers, my question. Right? So before we get there, friends, again, I am the whole facilitator for this whole program, working with Sanjay. Right. So I have my own training and coaching firm called J-Impact. Right. So I'm partnered with Rexa to actually deliver a lot of interesting programs and mainly with the creative flavors. Right. That's my arena. Even yesterday when I started off the session, unfortunately couldn't come on the video part, but I'm glad today we have this session. Right. So friends, the most important aspect in any FTPs, now Neetu kuda I clearly said, right, please do not keep this as a simple checkbox thing. You know, the people whom we bring along, right? So there is multiple people who are all coming in. They're all very hardcore, passionate, working professionals who have the creative flavor and demonstrated their flows. So learn the creative aspect of what they have done and how is it going to benefit us from it. If a biggest challenge for all the teachers in Patina, identifying how to utilize the AIs, right? So that's what in my n number of workshops, I spent predominant amount of time in abroad, right? So since I started my firm and having delivered so many workshops across colleges and industry, right, academics, I realized that the gap is mainly because of we do not understand how to utilize the AI. We had a chat, right, building a chatbot applications, and a lot of people are actually, what do you say, using the phones to join, right? I don't know how much of effective it is. I mean, irukkrade or 1 hour, right? So let's make use of that in the all proper sense, friends, right? So today I would like to introduce my other team member, Mr. Raj Naik Gavankar, right? He's basically from Goa, a very creative technologist, very passionate person in building workflows, automation, and does a lot of video related video editing and everything, correct? And today's topic is very interesting. He's going to introduce you all to the topic of a simple agent, right? நம்ம எல்லாருமே agent சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம், right? So அதுல வந்து especially in the world of teachers எப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா today, students per se, right? In general, நம்ம எல்லாருக்குமே மார்க்கோட வந்து we are seeing everybody in the form of marks and grades,
Sir,
right? ஆனா
excuse me, sir. Excuse me,
uh,
sir. You can
uh,
go with English itself, sir. Many North Indian participants are there, sir. So,
okay, perfect. So that will be all awesome. Thank you so much, ma'am. It
thank you,
gives
sir.
all the more, it gives me all the more
Yeah,
better.
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. So, so friends, what I am trying to tell is, um, I lost the flow. Yeah. So, the when it comes to the teaching fraternity, right? More we always see the students through our teachers' lenses, which means we'll only either grade them, look at them through the grades or through the marks, right? But imagine when you actually, how many of the teachers has the time to actually write a personalized feedback? Or a personalized meaning of personalized is, okay, this guy, you have the good improvement since the last semester, right? Your scores also determines the same. You could have done much better in particular areas, right? So when you give a personalized feedback, it matters more. That's called subjective feedback, right? It's very difficult for teachers in today's world to give subjective feedbacks for everybody, because we are dealing with so many students, and on top of all that, we as teachers, we tend to spend a lot of time in performing the operational activity, clerical stuff, which is more needed for the academics, right? I mean, that's what it is. That's how the system is designed to be. So in the world of AI, we can change that, friends, right? How? Our friend Mr. Raj is going to demonstrate you a simple agentic workflow which will identify the bunch of students which has got multiple grades and how to write a personalized feedback through AI. which will mean a lot more to them. So everything will be in still the teacher's control, but just that, imagine this is only for 10, 15 students as a demo we are doing it. But imagine if we have 1,700 or 2,000 odd students writing a personalized feedback through the AI with the control of teacher, all in a span of few minutes, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Right? Everyone likes to have a personalized feedback. What do you mean by personalized feedback? Today, okay, after my session is done, right? Assuming you are giving reasonably good ratings, correct? Ratings are always there, 4 plus 4.5, 4.8, right? Out of 5. But that more than that, if someone says in the Google comment that, so the session was really helpful, or this ignited me into the world of creative teaching, that means a lot to us, especially when we organize these FTP. And same thing for you guys. If a student comes and tells you, ma'am, the way you taught this particular subject was amazing, no, no other feedbacks would matter to a teacher more than that, isn't it? Same thing for the student. Hey, guy, you did this, but if you could have done a particular area better, you have the capability, you can do better. And the encouragement factors, that would actually add more value. So let's take a look into how we can develop a simple agent. Over to you, Mr. Raj, and I will back off. So again, all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So as sir introduced to you guys, my name is Raj Naikkaukar and I'm from Goa. And as sir said, I've been into automation space like for more than 2 years, almost 3 years. So yeah, to tell you guys at first, uh, automation earlier there used to be static outcomes, and then came the automation. Static used to be like take for example a chatbot. Um, if you have actually called maybe a customer care and it just used to say, please state your concerns and our customer representative will be with you shortly. So then like you have to wait for few minutes and maybe 10 more minutes to actually get a response. So this is where the automation comes in. So it understands what is it that you're trying to say. It has the context of it. So it understands what it is that you want, and it can escalate the situation to a proper individual in the backend to actually handle uh, where the one who is actually supposed to handle it. So like if it's related to billing or maybe maybe refund or some other service issues. Okay, so that was for the automation thing. Can I share a presentation of what we are actually trying to do today?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you say? Are you guys able to see
Yeah,
the
yeah. Yeah, we
screen?
are viewing your screen, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Visible, sir.
Yes. So basically, automation is divided into three parts. Uh, One is the trigger event. Trigger event is like basically something that starts the automation. It could be a schedule time, like trigger can be at a particular time, maybe 8 a.m. or something, or maybe a input given by a form. If you guys maybe have used Google Forms, it can be used as a trigger when a form is submitted, the data can be used as a trigger. Okay, and then the execution action. So basically, what is it that you want to do with the data that has been received? Okay, so like if you want to send it to someone through email, or send it to AI to analyze it, or anything basically. It is the part which comes in between trigger and the doing of the completion. And then, yeah, then there is a final step as to what is it it's actually doing. Yeah. And yeah, traditionally it used to be rule based automation, like the sir said. Uh, it used to be on the statistics, the marks. If you had like 90%, it used to say good. And then, no, excellent. If you had 90%, then 70% it used to mark it as good, and then so on. And but with AI, we can make it write specific messages, not messages, but recommendations to the person by using his name, his other details. I mean, it's based on context, basically. So, like, if he's studying in 10th standard, so the AI can actually understand where he is coming from and who is he? Is he a child? Is he adult? What based on that, it can give more recommendations, specific recommendations. So yeah. So in agentic workflow, first is it that the data. The agent understands what the data is on your behalf. I mean, agent is supposed to replace the manual work for you. So it understands on your behalf. It gathers, I mean, through the data that you provide, it perceives what it is that it has got. And then based on the instructions, it will decide what it is that it needs to do. Okay. Uh, if we take an example, if a student has a low marks, it understands that it should encourage the student to actually do better in that particular subject. And if he is good in the sports, it could encourage the student to move further with that. So basically, it's based on context aware. It is contextual, whatever it will give. And then act, the last part was decide. The next that comes is to act. So the act part would be creating the recommendation. So analyzing and creating the recommendation. So that the execution part. Yeah, it's the same that I had explained. And so today our goal would be to actually, we have been given a data set of students where we have subjects, names, student IDs, and so on. And what we will do today is use the Gemini, uh, which is from the Google, made by Google. We'll use the free API to actually use the AI to write insights based on what we are actually making. I mean, what recommendation we want to give them. Yeah, so I think we can move on to demonstration. Does anybody have any questions based on what I just explained?
Nope.
Okay, we can start with the this thing. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so today's platform is actually make.com. So it's a automation platform. where we can create scenarios and workflows that will actually automate whatever we want to automate. So we'll begin with this. So as I had explained in the earlier thing, we need to set up a trigger. So every automation starts with a trigger. It can be, so for this time we need sheets. Since we have this data set, it is in the Google Sheets. So we'll choose the Google Sheets as the automation. And for this automation, we need to feed this data that we have regarding the student. We need to feed it to this thing, AI. So we'll be using the sheets. So we'll use search rows as the trigger. So this would be done manually, or you can set it up as a 15 minutes interval or whatever minutes that you want. So it will run every 15 minutes or whenever you choose to do it. Once a day on demand. Let's do on demand for this our scenario. So for this, we need to, yeah. So in this, you'll need to connect the Google Sheet. I have already connected it. You'll have an option to log into your Google account from this part. So then select from my drive, and then you need to open the drop down, and you could see the sheet name that we have in there, and then the spreadsheet ID and sheet name. So next thing is that column range. Yeah, C A to CZ. So basically every column that comes in. Then filter, we don't need to learn the filter right now since this will go into the advanced part. And yeah, since we are actually creating the scenario right now, we should limit it to one row per the execution, so that we don't run every rows that are in here and cause an error. So we already have a trigger now, and next thing we need to, first let's run the trigger and see if it brings any data back. So this is the output bundles, student name, student ID, student name. As you can see, it matches with what you have in this thing, in the data set. So what we want to do right now is give this data to AI, and we need to fill the recommendations column in here for each student, and it should be personalized and not like based on average score. Like if you had to do it manually, you'll need to look at everything and type in here good, need improvements in sports. Okay, so here we actually tend to make many mistakes and overlook many details about the student in this. So there are chances of errors if you are trying to do it manually. But with AI you can automate this with very less errors, and once you actually decide the automation, do error handling, and then when you run it, even if it has thousands of records, it would still get it done fairly quickly rather than doing it manually. So the next step would be to actually uh, feed this data to a AI model. So we'll be using Gemini for this by Google. And we need to create a completion. Completion is similar to how you chat with this thing, Chat GPT or Gemini. When you send a message, that's the input that you give and the output that you get. That is one completion node. So we'll use 2.0 Flash for this. So to get, if you guys actually want to try, sorry, yeah. If you want to try, you can go to AI Studio, Google.Gemini, and here you can actually get free API keys. Create the API key, and you'll get your API keys. Then you just need to copy the API key and bring it over here, add, paste the thing, and save. Okay, since I already have it added over here, uh, it's causing an error if I edit again. So you guys know how to edit right now. So the next thing that we need to do is decide a system prompt. So system instructions would actually be giving a personality to your instructor, instructor or teacher. So say you are a class teacher. You will provide personalized recommendations to your students based on the provided mark sheet data. Okay, so next thing we need to give the user message. It is basically it's like using ChatGPT but outside of ChatGPT. So the API actually gives you option to get it done from if you actually want to use an AI model outside of ChatGPT or Gemini with API, you could do that. So here is the text. Since you already gave the system prompt, we need to now give it the data from which will be taken from this sheet. Okay, so we should start with the student name, and you can say these are the variables that that it got. So this is basically the data that it received from the sheet. So we need to feed this to the AI model and then get the response. So when you actually run this node, you would get this data and you need to feed this data. This data is actually saved in variables. So as you can see, the uh, student ID. So each time, if it's a different student ID, say it's Arav right now, the next one would be Diya Patel. So for each thing, for each user, sorry, for each student, it would be a different output where the variables of this thing comes in. So if you give it the name, student name, you just need to drag and drop it over here. So name and the variable of the student. So right now you just see the student name over here. But what the AI will actually see is the name and Arav Sharma. So this is how we make the flow dynamic and contextual by taking the data from sheet and adding it into the model the AI can, intelligently actually provide the recommendations. So now we just need to fill all the mark sheet in there. Name, student ID, drag and drop, computer science, maths, cybersecurity, marketing, data science, communication, creativity, score, leadership, sports, overall average. Okay. So now we just need to drag and drop the variables where we made the mark sheet. Computer science, mathematics, cybersecurity, digital marketing, data science, communication, creativity score, leadership, sports, and overall. Okay, so we have the AI model ready, your message ready, and the system prompt. Okay, one more thing I think we should add into the system prompt is to make the recommendation concise. Since AI models tend to actually write a big, respond very huge messages, I don't think the students would be actually able to read the whole thing and then save. So now we can try and run this one. The first step is we get the data, Arav Sharma, everything, and it is fed into Gemini right now. And here is the response. Okay, Arav, here is my feedback on your mark sheet. Arav, you are doing well overall, especially in computer science, data science, and maths. Focus on boosting your scores, digital marketing, communication. Okay, consider joining the school computer club to further develop your computer science skills. Debate club, as you can see, this is a very specific and contextually aware recommendation specifically made for Arab. So if you were to do this manually, if a teacher would, you know, had to do this manually, you could have to, think about the student who is look at all the scores and then, personally write a recommendation for the student, which would probably take 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes per student. And as you can see, we already have 11 students, sorry, 10 students over here. So you can guess how much time it takes to do it manually. But with AI, I think we can do it fairly quickly. So the next thing, now we have the output over here. Okay, as you can see, it made a remark over here. So this actually comes under prompting. So you just need to prompt only respond with output, no other comments. So this should actually give us just the output, right? This time. Now it made a very small this thing. $400. Not 400. Let's give it 200 words. Okay, I think this is good enough. So next thing we need to actually do is put this into the recommendations column. So again, add another module, Google Sheet, and this time would be update row. The same thing, connection, choose the spreadsheet, sheet, and then for the row number, as you can see, the trigger part actually had the row number. So we just need to drag and drop it over here. And then we don't need to change anything in here. We just have to write the AI response into the recommendation. And that would be this Google node. And from here, we would just take the results and drop it over here. And save. So now if we run it again, it should be updated over here. Yeah, as you can see, that was very quick. Compare this to your manual work and it can save you a lot of time. And so now we have the automation made, but as you can see, it only runs one time, or can say at when you trigger it. Either you can, do it at regular intervals, or you can decide once a day, you can decide the time when it needs to do it. There are many ways to actually do it. So we'll stick to on demand, but this time we'll take out the limit. So it goes through every records and make a recommendation for them. Okay, so we just needed to remove the limit, and then now if we run it, it got the output. See, Arav Sharma, then Diya Patel, and all the other 10 records, and it would keep running everything. As you can see, it adds the data, and you can see it live while it's adding the data. Yeah, so all the records are actually completed this time. So this is how you actually automate your stuff. This is just the beginning part. I mean, if you had to automate it more, you could, take this specific personalized recommendation and add a Gmail, send it to someone. Okay, you need to create connections and set up everything, but you can send emails or send a text message from this. The possibilities are actually endless. You just need to figure out what you want to do and how you have to do it. You just need to learn how to connect the dots. That's how we actually get the automations working. So yeah, that was for the today's demo. Any questions on the workflow or anything that I had taught you today? No? Then I guess I should ask you guys a question like, if you guys had to automate one thing in your, you know, daily life, what would it be? Would it be replying to emails or doing something else like responding to your business WhatsApp business messages, emails, sending someone invoices or something like that? Is this free or need to pay? Okay, yeah, this is basically free. So yeah, let me show you guys. So this thing is called make.com. Site is called make.com, and yeah, it gives you 1,000 runs per month. It resets every 31 days, and you can have 1,000 scenarios. I mean, this this is called a scenario. Okay, when you run it once, one scenario is consumed. One run is consumed basically. So if you have like 1,000 runs per month, so you can do 1,000 of this records per month, or send 1,000 emails, 1,000 whatever that it is you want to do, whatever automation that it is what you want to do. Any more questions?
Participants, you have any doubts or queries, please feel free to ask the resource person.
Yeah. Or you could even tell me what it is that you repeatedly do every day, and we can try and figure out how you can actually automate it. Any participants wants to speak, or you guys can message in the chat.
Sir, a chat is available.
Okay. Email to students about the internals. Yeah, sure. I mean, you could do that with this. Uh, if you had a data set similar to this, and it had a if it had a email column where you could say that this had a email dot domain at domain.com, you could send an email through this. You can just take it and you know yeah you could just set up a email, send email, and subject would be internal marks, and anything that you review on internal marks and then the content could be the results. This one where we had the R of your academic performance and everything. And for the two here, you just, I mean, if you had a email column over here, you could just drag and drop the email from here. And then if any attachments that you need to add over here. And then when you do it, when you run the scenario, the review and the email would be sent to the student. Right now I can't show you because I need to create a connection to the Gmail or any other mail to actually send it. So that is how you can actually do it. Okay, so what's the difference between generative AI and agentic AI workflow? Okay, so generative AI is actually like, I mean, if I had to show you, it's Gemini, basically. Generative AI, I mean, here you can give the Diya Patel data set. I mean, you could copy this for generative AI, you could copy this, paste it to Gemini, and provide student recommendation to the student. So as you can see, this is generative AI. I mean, You have to it generates data, I mean output based on whatever you feed it. Okay, generative AI. And for Agentic has tools. Okay, this is Agentic because it has access to Google Sheets. Okay, it has access to email, which ChatGPT does not have. Send it to email. I can't send emails directly. So here's the difference between agentic and generative AI. Agentic is using generative AI along with the tools to automate things on your behalf. That is what agentic is. Daily student attendance intimation to parents via mobile or WhatsApp. Yes, you can do this, but it would require you to learn a bit more. Okay, learn a bit more about make.com because it also has WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp Business Cloud. You would need to set up a business account on WhatsApp, I mean Meta business account, and then you can send a message over here. And for the data sheet, your attendance intimidation, you would need a data sheet or actually have to make a sheet where you would have all the student names and present absent, that type of data sheet. Along with for the trigger, you could probably use a 9 a.m. or something, 9 a.m. trigger over here because around 9 a.m. you should have a fairly good idea of how many students have actually, you know, run run every day, and then you can set up, time as yeah, you could do it as 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. however you want, and then run the whole thing, go to the attendance sheet, and then you don't need a Gemini with this actually. You can just automate it, or set it up email or set it up directly through WhatsApp. Connect this over here, and yeah, right now I don't have the business connection over here on WhatsApp, but you could just send the phone numbers. You could as how you get the this thing. Yeah, it could be a phone number of the parent. Okay, and you could just use this variable, add it in here as a input. I mean the number which you want to send an SMS or email or something. Like uh, think of it as a phone number to send and then save it. I mean, and then when you run it, it would send the WhatsApp message or email or whatever that you want to do. Any other questions?
Any other questions, participants? Kindly ask the resource person.
Is it possible to build an AI agent with make.com that uses the data from my drive files to generate answers, insights, function as knowledge base? Yes. I mean, if I had to actually show you, I don't have any data set in this right now, but you have access to Drive, Google Drive, and then you should probably also have access to uh, Google Docs. You know, you could watch for documentations, new documentations, or get the documentations, and then use it to actually do whatever that you want to do. I mean, you could do a question answer knowledge base or use that data to actually, uh, you know, you could feed the data to this Gemini and you could get personalized answers based on the document that you actually give it. I mean, the knowledge base could be anything from question answer, student question answer spreadsheet, or any test paper, test questions, anything. I mean, you could also do it as automated answering for the students. You could have a document based on the class notes, and then student could fill up a form with their question, and they would get a email response regarding what is the answer to that question, which would basically be whatever data is in here. It could be a whole lesson in here, whole chapter in this document. You just need to get the data, process the data, and execute the sending of the data to the student, or whatever the execute action that you want to have. Yeah, it would look something like this. Your flow, your workflow basically. You just need to connect the dots. As you can see, literally connect the dots in make.com and you could make that happen. Any more questions?
Shall we wind up the session, participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Sanjay sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Raj Naik Goenker, sir, from Creative Technologies, Goa, for your excellent presentation and insight that is given with the introduction to agentic workflow. The demonstration was awesome, and hope all the participants have got insights in how to integrate the Google Sheets with Google Gemini and the agentic workflow, how they can do it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable session. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Participant, Participants, you can fill up the feedback link that has been given, and you can wind up, and we'll meet for the next day, day 3, for the online FDP program. Thank you. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ramana, stop recording.